What's up, everybody? Are we working? Is the sound good? NMB? It's going to be Deontay Johnson there. I had him higher in half PPR, but in full PPR, it's for sure. I'm going to go Deontay and trust in the workload there. What an interesting week one already. Just insane. Once again, let me know how the volume is. Are we working? Are we live? NMB, did you hear your answer? Perfect. Good luck. I think it'll work out for you. Christian Kirk, there's going to be a limited amount of work for them before they're just running the ball, I feel like. All right, volume's good. Sweet. CC, are you still here? Yeah, I would have more faith in this if the Broncos offense looked better in the preseason when they were out there. A little bit of, a good note that they weren't brought out there in preseason week 3. I go Broncos, but I think it's going to be a close game. I could see it going either way. It really comes down to the defense, I think, for the Broncos compared to the defense for the Raiders, and having a little bit of faith in that Broncos offense being better than last season. Maybe not week 1, though. All right, let's see here. We've got this up. First time doing this in a long time. Stefan, I did type an answer to your question. I guess I didn't end up. I'd say Elijah Moore for a floor, Marvin Mims for a ceiling. If your opponent happens to have one of the quarterbacks for Marvin Mims, Elijah Moore, I would just go with that player. I have them back-to-back in my rankings, as you can see. And the fact that it's full PPR, that does give me a little bit more faith. I would go Elijah Moore would be the tiebreaker for full PPR. Mims is more of a big play guy, but he's going to have a bigger role this week. Still, I'll take the shot on Elijah Moore. I think that Las Vegas defense, I just dogged them, but they should be a little bit better against the pass this season too, so maybe not as good of a matchup as it feels like coming into the week. Thanks for the question, Stefan. Hope that helps you. Good luck this week. But yeah, I wouldn't go with either of those tight ends. Roschon Johnson, who knows what his workload will be. Marvin Mingo hasn't impressed. Appreciate it, Stefan. You're the best too. Very nice of you. Oh, I'm so excited for today's games. CC, I'm so excited you're back. I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, I wonder if CC is still around. All right, we got the schedule pulled up in case I got to reference that. My cheat sheet's ready. Who's jacked? So right now, the poll, we got only 1 in 3 people, it would appear, 67% saying no. I mean, ruin my lineup, y'all. I'm excited about the potential for Mims this week. But, Jahan Dotson's probably the right call. I do have him ranked higher, after all. Quite a bit higher. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spots higher. Oh, been a week 1, man. I drafted Cooper Kupp and Mark Andrews, two players I wasn't really planning on drafting, but they both fell, a few spots in the draft to me, and it's like, well, all right, I'll take the shot. Like 3 days later, fucking, what's his guy? Cooper Kupp re-injures himself. Anybody's got Darren Waller out there, not too concerned about that. I think he just felt a little bit of tightness. Got concerned on Thursday. And Friday morning, he's like, oh, thank God, it's nothing. We just got some bold predictions. Let's see here. We got my call on Las Vegas, Denver. I am going to go Denver on that. Give him the home field advantage. San Fran Pitt. Does Pitt have a chance? Oh, no. I mean, it should be great once it's there, Oh. Yeah, that's rough. It's like, at least if one of them's down, I still have a world beater in my tight end slot. There's no way both of them would be out any given week, right? The good thing, though, is that you can grab any old tight end off of the waiver wire, and a slightly good week will beat most tight ends' slightly bad weeks. There's just such a huge area of middling tight ends, and you can take a pretty bad tight end and get lucky and beat a pretty decent tight end in any given week. Like a 25-33% chance of that. So not the worst odds. Philly, New England, I mean, New England doesn't have a chance there, right, guys? Especially without Devontae Parker. They're just done for now. I think we'll get to see Kayshon Boutte, though. That should be fun. Bold prediction, Musgrave will get 10 targets, 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, baby. You're giving us a shot. That's the Packers Stadium right there. I would love it. I was way ahead on the Musgrave train. And I don't know where I ended up with my rankings on him compared to others at the end of the day when it came to draft time, but I'm excited about him. I like the boldness. I mean, it could happen. Dobbs limited, Christian Watson out. I think Kincaid by NMB could be startable in the beginning. Or do I move to someone like Irv Smith or Greg Dulcich? I would go Irv Smith. I don't know how do I have him ranked here. Off my gut here, I would go Irv Smith, Kincaid, Dulcich. I wonder if I have... here's my rankings. I wonder how I have Kincaid and Dulcich ranked. I have Kincaid one spot ahead of Greg Dulcich, so that explains why I was kind of a toss-up there. Yeah, I'm high on Irv Smith, to be clear. I have him ranked 15th, and I believe the ECR expert consensus ranking from Fantasy Pros is like 21st on him. New York Jets is a good offense, which could kind of work in favor for Dalton Kincaid, but rookie tight end, week 1, I want to avoid if I can. Unless they're in a situation... I mean, I even with Luke Musgrave where I have him ranked, I still want to avoid that if I can. Stefan Carpeo? Is it Carpeo or Carpio? I believe that the Giants will make it a point to use Hyatt. I agree. I don't know about week 1. Being that it was the Cowboys receiver coach that mocked his skill set at the comp... Oh. Interesting. I like those little edges of... nuggets of information that sometimes, I mean, people can be fickle. Teams can take things personally, or that would be funny. Get Hyatt out there, just play one, just streak him down the field and send him deep. That would be cool. It's possible. I like Hyatt for that offense. Like, I hope he's good enough to get on the field because I think he really opens things up for all the little gadget-esque, quick agility kind of guys that they have. Darius Slayton can do that to a point too, but that's an interesting wide receiver core. It's kind of like Kansas City's, where it's like, I see the talent. It's a little bit more proven somehow than Kansas City's, though. But you got like Sterling Shepard. I mean, he could come out of nowhere again this season, and maybe he gets back to his old self, has a healthy season. Haven't seen that for a long time. He's like Michael Thomas, the low-key Michael Thomas-esque, his injuries. So how crazy am I with my Aaron Rodgers ranking, guys? I have him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 10th. 1, 2. Yeah, ranked 10th. That crazy? I think they're going to give it to Buffalo here in week 1. One thing I like about week 1s is a lot of offensive points usually get scored. Always a chance to get a Kansas City-Detroit game. And offensive players just drop the ball left and right. But defenses tend to be working behind the 8 ball. You know, these offenses are new and don't know exactly what's coming at them. On Deshaun, I'm a little bit wait and see. I had him ranked pretty highly. I think like in line with everybody else at the end of the day. But yeah, that's understandable going against Cincinnati. To your point, I think it'll be over 50 points in MB. Exactly. I mean, there is a lot of upside with that. I just want to see it. And then with Geno, it's such an easy matchup. I feel comfortable about the floor with Geno compared to Deshaun Watson is where that tiebreaker came in there. And then I just have Aaron Rodgers really high. But ahead of that, like Kirk Cousins, that's such a sweet matchup, and I think because of their defense being so bad, that's going to help them to have to stay in passing situations a lot in games. So, to me, he could be one spot higher just because of the Aaron Rodgers being so bold on him this week. But, gosh, I hope I don't steer anybody wrong with that one. Yeah, 3 touchdowns, 270 yards, exactly. Like, that should be a high-scoring game. I have a lot of faith in this offense. The only thing that concerns me is, like, last year when Rodgers re-signed with the Packers, I thought he was going to come in and work with the rookies and get on the same page with them, and he didn't really put any extra effort into it. And it appears that he has put that extra effort in with the New York Jets here at a new home, a rebirth for his career to just kind of things aren't so stale being in the same place for so long, but still have that little bit of concern that Rodgers is like has quit putting in that extra effort. That's, part of what made him so great. Baker? Okay, so I'm going to read your NMB predictions for Baker. I have a feeling he will no doubtly be the starter for the year, and I think he could support Godwin being a low-end wide receiver 1. Godwin did it with Winston, so yeah. Well, I mean, am I thinking of the right guy? Yeah, Winston. Jameis. I mean, Jameis was a better fantasy quarterback than a real-life quarterback. Prediction for Baker would be that he does exceed expectations because myself and everybody basically has him in the basement. And he's had a pretty good offseason and whatnot. So I could see Baker keeping those weapons fantasy relevant all season long. DJ Duvernay, struggling. Pick one running back flex. Full PPR, one running back, one flex. We got James Cook, Khalil Herbert, Raheem Mostert. Okay, so Raheem Mostert's going to be my one running back out of the bunch there. There's just too much upside with Devon Achane being ruled out this morning. That leaves like two running. There's got to be a third running back on that roster, but I don't know. So he should get a lot of work, like maybe 80% of the work in a high-scoring game. So love Raheem Mostert this week. One flex. So James Cook, Khalil Herbert, Hopkins. Factors I consider. Bills tough matchup. They are, but they're also a high upside matchup because of scoring. But still tough. However, they're not that great on the ground. So who do you have going up against the Bills? Bills tough matchup. Bears busy backfield. I don't know how busy it'll be, especially week 1. Dolphins starting left tackle, but it could be busy. Dolphins starting left tackle. Yep, that is a concern. I hear you. Lattimore on Hopkins all game. It's fair. I still think I would go Hopkins in my flex there, in part because it's full PPR. But that offense. So where do I have James Cook is what I'm mainly thinking of here. James Cook versus the New York Jets. He does give you some receiving upside. Expect that game to be high scoring. DeAndre Hopkins, have him ranked 19th. James Cook, I have ranked like 21st for running backs. Yeah, I gotta go. I would go DeAndre Hopkins in my flex there, and I would go Mostert for my running back. Nice set of running backs you got there. And at B, Stefan, Monday Night Football games bring out the best in top tier players. Yeah, that's another part of it. Like, there's gonna be so much energy going into this game. How do those teams not just put up points against each other? Yes, but Baker's on a short leash. Yeah, I would imagine he probably is. They would be open. If he doesn't do very good, they would be open to making sure that Kyle Trask isn't something before going into draft season next year, so he definitely has a chance of sitting. He's not somebody I want on my fantasy team. Just saw that, definitely Mostert. Yeah, it takes that little bit of concern about Mostert's usage out this week. Salvin Ahmed, it did look really good in the preseason, so I'm sure he'll get a little bit of usage, but there should be less breaking into Mostert's upside there. CC, not high on Dameon Pierce. I am not. Very low, right? Yeah. James Conner, Dameon Pierce, both high. Like, I'm going a little bit against the fact that opportunity. What is it? No. Opportunity is king. That's not the right word for that saying, but the amount of usage that they'll get definitely gives them a really high floor, which gives them a ceiling. Like, if you have a lot of usage, there's always a chance that you break out. I'm just not betting on Dameon Pierce having a huge, 50-yard touchdown run this game. Baltimore run defense was really good last season, and I think that they'll have to be passing pretty quickly in this game. So I am being extra cautious with my Dameon Pierce and James Conner. The Joshua Dobbs at quarterback's a little bit better. I moved him up a little ways. That's a little bit better than the Clayton Tune would have been. But I don't know how much better. Still, he has that receiving upside to him. So I could be low on both of them, of course. If you got him and you don't feel too concerned, start him, And then B, really hoping Charbonnet can overcome Walker. Yeah, I could use that because I ignored my RB2 spot. Have him in all of my leagues, though only way for that is probably Walker getting hurt. Which, I drafted Walker last season and it worked out with the injury. Then we almost had a week 1 injury here for Walker, and it's the Seattle running back. So I feel like there's a good chance of this. I'm actually not a huge believer in Charbonnet. It's the talent. But I was proven wrong in the draft season on my disbelief of the talent of Charbonnet. And he looked good in the preseason. And I could use it, so I'm all for it. What do we got? 45 minutes before kickoff, y'all. This is going to be... I live in the South now, so I can say y'all. This is going to be great. Ooh. Let's get the games going. What do we got? We got 71% no, so we're still hanging on the no. Come on, guys. Force me to play Marvin Mims so I can blame you if he doesn't do better. I also have Brandon Ayuk, but I'm going for the upside of Jahan Dotson. Just they have to get a lead first before they can start running. And I don't know who these Arizona... I mean, I do know who they are, the cornerbacks for Arizona, but I don't have much faith in them against Jahan. And then I don't have much faith in Tyler Lockett's explosiveness to separate because of his toe injury. So I think it's Jahan Dotson for a 73-yard touchdown, the first play of the game. Longest... It is always the longest hour of all time, dude. It's terrible. Actually, sometimes it flies by. That's the nice thing when... Like, usually 20 minutes before kickoff, especially later on in the season last year when I didn't have as many subscribers, like, then it starts to fly because a lot of questions come in and I'm just, like, trying to answer them. And, you know, a lot of questions relative to my own question load, not relative to the other channels out there. Mims instead of Ayuk. Yeah, exactly. Like, this Pitt defense is back to... They got TJ Watts. TJ Watts? Watts? Yeah, back. Why does that feel wrong? We got good secondary. That offense should be more consistent to help keep that defense off the field a little bit more. It's going to be an interesting game. And that is why I don't like Ayuk this week. Maybe if George Kittle hadn't played. Jordan Addison or David Njoku, full PPR. I gotta go David Njoku because Jordan Addison is not the number 2 wide receiver coming into week 1. He's gonna have to earn his role on this offense. KJ Osborne did good enough to keep him off of the field. You know, keep him down on the depth chart for now. And you got Cincinnati on the other side of the ball for Cleveland, so there's a decent chance that there's a little chance that they'll just be able to run the ball all game. They almost certainly will have to continue to pass, whether it's close or not, where they can keep an even-keeled game. But there's always a chance that they'll have to go into passing mode for like the entirety of the fourth quarter to try to catch up. So I go David Njoku there. I don't really like taking a tight end over a wide receiver, but I'm concerned about Jordan Addison week 1. I really don't like my ranking on him. I don't like my ranking on him, Zay Flowers, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. But at that point, I'm willing to take a risk on those receivers. But yeah, I think I'd rather take the shot at David Njoku. Good luck with that 2v2 league. Do you play video games? That a gamer channel? Or is that like, now I'm curious. 2v2 league. Firefox, come on, pop up. Go to channel. I'm stalking you, 2v2 league. Okay, basketball. Cool. Nice. Is that a backyard court? That looks fun. Terry McLaurin projected for 13.1 fantasy points via ESPN, DraftKings. Oh, hey. Don't mind me. I'll keep an eye on chat right now. I need to make sure my DraftKings lineups, I forgot to check them. I didn't play anybody who's sitting out this week. Shouldn't take long. Just missed that. Alright, first one. Everybody's in. All in. Anybody got any, if you do anybody, any sleepers What you like for DK? I think Raheem Mostert became quite the value. Mike Williams, Marvin Mims is a super DK value. 3,000. Actually, speaking of Baker Mayfield, I have Baker Mayfield in one or two of my DK lineups this week. He's taking the shot against that Minnesota D. All right, running back Rashad Penny is expected to be a healthy scratch today against the Patriots. That's news. That still leaves I still wouldn't put Kenneth Gainwell ahead of Jaylen Warren like I have him. Yeah, I mean, Jaylen Warren's, I know, I hope at least, I'm pretty sure I have him in one or two DK lineups. I only did like 5 or 6, so that'd be a pretty high percentage. I took advantage of all the free ones this week and then did like 2 more. So Kenneth Gainwell, that doesn't change. DeAndre Swift over Antonio Gibson. You know, I think we'll make that change here. I hope I'm not overestimating how much usage Brian Robinson Jr. gets this week because of the matchup. But I'm not too high on Antonio Gibson this week, although season long, I like them about equally. All right, we're just getting more and more into not starting Marvin Mims, y'all. Let me make sure I worded that question like I think I did. Should I take a fly? Yeah, okay. They love Boston Scott. They love Kenneth Walker. DeAndre Swift is their receiving back. So to get an extra offensive lineman or defensive back, maybe if they're concerned about the health of somebody, would be my best guess. That they're just that, or I mean, it could be a punishment. You know, Rashad Penny might have swore at practice or something. Who knows? McBride or Ertz? Oh God. Oh God. McBride or Ertz? Oh Lord, how do I think I have McBride ahead of Ertz, but I didn't think I'd get this question, so I don't know that I've really moved Ertz this morning. Yeah, I didn't. This is what I would do. I would go McBride. Oh, okay. I would go Logan Thomas. Yeah. So I didn't update my rankings with the Arizona. I would go Logan Thomas here for the ceiling. And I would personally go Logan Thomas. I would go Trey McBride if you wanted. I don't know about safer, but if you wanted a higher floor. I'm going Logan Thomas on that. And Stefan Carpio says he'd go McBride. So we need one more person to give their opinion on that one. McBride or Logan Thomas. Who would you go with? And just an FYI, in case you didn't know, Zach Ertz is activated. That was a last-second thing, so who knows how active he'll be. And then Elijah Moore or Javonte. Oh, did you ask this, Rico, in the comments earlier this week? There was some good commentary on Javonte. I had Javonte ahead at that point. Is this full PPR? Okay. So, I went Javonte for you, I believe, in the end, right? And I think I'm sticking with that, Rico. Go Thomas over McBride, though. Oh, okay. So, Stefan, we got 2 Thomases over McBride. Yeah, and it is full PPR. Let's get some CC. Where you at? Pay attention here. Stefan's being active. Let's get some help for Rico here. What do you guys think? Full PPR. Would you go Elijah Moore or Javonte Williams. I am going to hold out a little bit of faith in the comments on Javonte Williams having a big workload or a big role in the offense this week and assume that he's at least getting 50% of the work against Las Vegas in a game that I think might be kind of back and forth. So I kind of like it. Going Javonte. CC's going Javonte. Thank you for the input, CC. You the man, as always. Elijah Moore, you know, if he did anything with the Jets in his first 2 years in the NFL, I'd have faith in him week one. I'm nervous about him week one. Like, he might just not be that guy. Preseason was good for him, though. And Stefan is being humble here. He's going Elijah. The upside's there. I feel like they both have some risk for him. That's what I said in the comments, too. My ultimate advice would be to go with your gut. Like, I always feel like it feels better if I'm wrong when I chose the guy compared to, like, going to Fantasy Pros website and being like, well, they have so-and-so higher, even though my gut's going this way. I'm going to go with the crowd. And then I play that guy, and he does worse than whoever I sat. To me, that feels worse than when I actually make the wrong choice myself. So, that's my personal opinion. I'd rather die by my own sword than by somebody else's, I guess. Rico, appreciate you stopping on through. Good luck. Either way, I think you're not going to be disappointed in either one of those two. So I think you're in a good spot having to choose between those two. And good luck with the tight end there. I think Logan Thomas could be big. It's possible, but there's so many targets, too, in that offense. And they're going to be running a lot. Yeah, exactly. That's the upside. Especially in full PPR, Stefan. But the thing is Joe Burrow is like 0-4 against Cleveland. I believe that's the stat. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, and you know it. But maybe 1-3. Hasn't done well against Cleveland. They do have a better offensive line now. Should. But don't they have part of that offensive line sitting this week? ESPN's got Raheem Mostert 24th, Brian Robinson 25th. You sleep in ESPN. You're being too comfortable. You gotta get bold. Man, Raheem Mostert's in such a blow-up spot. I don't know how you could say he's a back-end RB2. They've got Javonte ranked 26th, so that's even higher than me. We are closing upon 1/2 hour. You know what I have not looked at? I haven't gotten anything on my phone. But, news. Any coach comments that are interesting coming across the wire? Let's see here. I was just about to comment on how my buddy said he'd be here today, and he must have just drank himself to sleep last night. Welcome in, Anthony Halverson, my sole moderator. If you see any of those sex bots come in here, please get rid of them immediately, Tony. And Fernie. Patriots. Last bit of news was the Devontae Parker being out, even though he was originally expected to be in. It appears. Let's check this. Press Taylor to be full offensive time play caller for the Yags this season. Anthony Halverson, do you have a question for me? Because I feel like if you did, I might have an answer that might surprise. Check out my rankings. Late game, he could. Congrats to you on being high on him pre-draft. Like, he looked really good in the preseason. I don't know. The one thing that I don't know how quickly he's going to be able to carve out any kind of role is where his pass blocking ability's at. You know, that's important. And just his knowledge of the playbook and all of that. But I think there's a chance that Chris Rodriguez, by the end of the year, could be the number one running back. Brian Robinson was not ultra impressive last season. He has a great excuse to not have been. So that goes a long ways. Yeah, I mean, I think late game he'll get in there if the game goes as expected, with Washington taking an early and quick lead and building upon that throughout the game, having a minimum of a 17-point lead with 9-10 minutes to go. I think Chris Rodriguez could come in and take a little bit of that top off of Brian Robinson and, you know, maybe prevent him from having a big day. It's possible. Any new people in here? If you did not hear latest report, Rashad Penny expected to be a healthy scratch this week. So that did not change my thoughts on the running backs a whole lot for Philly, but I did move DeAndre Swift up a spot. Go Jets, says Anthony Helverson, and then he just disappeared. Stefan Carpio, my bad here. So, thoughts on Noah Fant, full PPR, season long, or for this week? This week, season long, I think he'll be a solid guy that you can get off of the waiver wire in any given week. Just really hard to predict, especially once JSN gets comfortable at this next level. But I think that also opens up the field for Noah Fant to break out for a huge play and maybe get a touchdown. So if the touchdowns go his way this year, he could be a surprise, is what I'm getting at. This week, they are facing... This is an easy one. I should know this. The Rams. Too little opportunity. No, I don't like them a whole lot this week. No Fant. Feels like standard. I might like him. I would like him more in standard scoring than full PPR. I just think that 4 or 5 targets feels like the ceiling. They should be running a lot. Got a league alert here. Got to check in on. Kenneth Gainwell, there's a shifting in your favor that will be orchestrated by the hand of God. God is upgrading your current status right now from stressed to blessed. Is that a Kenneth Gainwell tweet? What is going on in that backfield this morning? Kenneth Gainwell tweeted this. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Some roads you need to take alone. There's a shifting in your favor that will be orchestrated by the hand of God. God is upgrading your current status right now from stressed to blessed. And that's right after we get a Rashad Penny being sat. Huh. Well, clearly the team wanted to show him that they have faith in him. The only thing is I prefer people who have faith in them, like in their own abilities over, oh, God set this up, just because I think that makes people work harder if they don't think it's an act of God. But that said, very minor take. Interesting. Super interesting. Ward rents Baker. Start 2. please, if you get a chance, Ward, let me know. Full PPR, half PPR, standard league scoring. Start 2, McLaurin, Pittman, Deion Jackson, or Antonio Gibson. I think I would balance this out by going McLaurin, Deion Jackson, full PPR. That's what I was afraid of. But that really, to me, full PPR, the only person that really has the biggest impact would be Antonio Gibson. And I'm not, let me, how do I have him ranked in half PPR? Do I have Gibson higher than Deion? I do. So I'm going to go Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin. Oh, God. Then you got 2 of them. Huh. I'll go McLaurin, Deion Jackson, like I was really thinking. I think that balances things out there. Well, they needed running backs. I mean, they were down to just Boston Scott, who's they love and all. They were able to get DeAndre Swift for like 4th rounder or something like that. Not a whole lot. And Rashad Penny was a simple, easy signing. That made sense. He was a free agent. It didn't cost them. Their whole backfield doesn't cost a lot. And they've showed that they still have faith in Gainwell all off season. But he was stressed, obviously, by the additions. I mean, he said that himself. No, I think they do have faith in Gainwell. They needed to add people in there, and they just happened to add some big names. But it's not like they haven't had injury woes and whatnot in their careers. So, yeah, Ward, that's my final answer. McLaurin, Deion Jackson, and I'm crossing my fingers that I picked the right 2. Pittman has such high upside, but it's not a great matchup, and I really don't trust him and Anthony Richardson actually connecting until they actually connect. But it could be an 80-yard bomb for Pittman at any point this game, any game, all season long. But it's not a great matchup, so week 1, I really don't want to trust something that I really didn't trust coming into the season. And Antonio Gibson, this week, I'm lower on him than I'll be most weeks. You could go Gibson and Deion Jackson, but I'm going to take the chance that Terry McLaurin's toe injury is nothing here, and I'm going to go McLaurin, Deion Jackson there. Yeah, to me that just balances the ups and downs of everybody the best. You get the floor of expected usage with those 2. If they have faith in Gainwell, yes, but Philly actually considered drafting a running back in the draft as well. Yeah. I mean, you take a guy if he's there, right? Yeah, I mean, Kenneth Gainwell's not a world beater. You can upgrade from Kenneth Gainwell. And they, I'm sure, hoped to, but it doesn't appear that they feel that they have so far. Does Perine have a good day today? Yeah, a good day. Like, I don't think he has a bad day. I feel safe throwing Perine out there. Like, I have Perine rostered, and I would love to find a way. Like, I wish it was a 3 wide receiver league. Then I could get him in my flex spot. But to me, it just doesn't make sense to, and I need a little bit of upside since I lost my 1st and 3rd round picks this week. So that's where I'm going Jahan Dotson. But if I was looking for a floor, I would feel comfortable with Perine. 20 minutes before kickoffs, mother effers. This is excellent. And I see an update here on my phone. The Chiefs were initially concerned. Wow. The Chiefs were initially concerned that Travis Kelce suffered a season-ending tibia plateau fracture. That would not be good during Tuesday's practice. However, it turned out to be the best, very deep bone bruise. Very deep bone bruise. There's a possibility he could be out 2 weeks. Plan is to have him run tomorrow, and as long as there's no swelling, he should be back for week 2. So, they're expecting him back in week 2. Jahan Dotson or Brian Robinson? Brian Robinson. I'm going to flat out go Brian Robinson. If you're looking for a ceiling, though, it's Jahan Dotson by... I don't think it's worth the risk. I would go Brian Robinson, and if Jahan Dotson goes off, I'm willing to accept that. Stefan Carpio, are you a Philly fan or just an NFL fan? I'm going to go off screen for a moment. And make some fog. You're welcome, Ashton Springer. I appreciate you stopping on through. I hope that advice works. Hope it makes sense, too. Terry McLaurin was out. I'd be a little bit more confident with Jahan Dotson. Oh, okay. All right. The G-Men. What do you think of your quarterback? Do you like him? Do you think he was worth the money? I'm excited to see him in year 2 in that system. Especially given what he had for his weapons last year. I thought he performed well for what he had. First year in a new system. So, hopefully they still do this on ESPN about 5 minutes or so leading up to kickoff. They'll ask a bunch of questions on screen. As long as I don't have questions that I need to be answered here, I will answer those. I'll read them off and answer those questions. Last second advices from them. I think they're always good questions. I never know how to make up questions of start or sit for myself to answer. I don't have somebody else to ask them either, so it feels weird. Worth the money and has shown incredible growth last season and thus far this season. Cool. We're on the same page. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his ultimate ceiling is. The rushing upside helps his ceiling, but he's not a spring chicken anymore, so that's going to start to wear out of his game slowly within a couple of years. I feel like he might peak. I feel like his passing prowess might peak right around the same time as his running game starts to, after his running game starts to wear off. And so he might never be the best quarterback that he could have been. Benjamin Williams, Terry McLaurin, or Deontay Johnson? I'm not looking at my rankings. Let's see here. If it's full PPR, it's for sure Deontay Johnson. I'm going to go Deontay by a hair. Yeah, I have Deontay ranked higher, too. It's a tough matchup for Deontay. I'm just still concerned about Terry McLaurin's health with the toe injury. You are welcome, Benjamin. Take care. And hopefully that's not a question you have to ask every week, because that might be tough a lot of weeks this year if that Pittsburgh offense looks anything like it looked in the preseason. And same with the Washington offense, if that offense looks like it did. I played Laporta earlier this week on my team from Stefan Carpio, looking to strike gold again with Musgrave. I drafted both this season and the rookie draft. Oh, those are two good dynasty guys to have. You could get you could be in a position to trade one of them for some decent draft capital at some point in the next 4 years. I feel like Musgrave has the higher ceiling. What do you think between Laporta and Musgrave? Who's got the better ceiling there? I guess that goes a long ways towards me having faith in Jordan Love. But also, Detroit, how many years of Goff do they have left? So that's something else to think about in that argument. I was surprised Detroit didn't. Wait, no, Detroit did grab a quarterback, right? They got the old man Jones, who was injured, from Tennessee. Hooker? So that could be something. Hendon Hooker. All right, we got 15 minutes before kickoff. Let's do a little refresh on the updates. Maybe we can get a new Kenneth Gainwell tweet saying, I'm about to pop the F off this week. And then I'll be like, oh my God, should I start him? I won't. I gotta think Rashad Penny, like, made someone angry. He did something, like, he had to have upset someone. Done something wrong in practice. Who knows? I also draft Richardson, A-Chain, Mims, Hyatt, and Rodriguez in the same Dynasty rookie draft. How many first round picks was that then? Was that like 2? Richardson and A-Chain? I don't know if A-Chain quite would have had that value for Dynasty. I assume those 2 went ahead of the tight ends. Okay, it was one first. Richardson, right? I'm not wrong on that. All right, we got the Chiefs update thing. Some more on Rashad Penny, Press Taylor. No new news coming through, but a lot of times, like 5-6 minutes before kickoff, we get some bit of information from a reporter that they weren't allowed to give until it was too close before kickoff for another team to get any kind of strategic advantage from that information. 5 seconds. Okay, I was thinking, all right, that makes sense. 1/3 and 1/4. Yeah, so you got Rodriguez in the 4th, and then Hyatt. I assume Hyatt in the 3rd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, you didn't list somebody probably there. Ryan N asks, Connor or DJ Moore, full PPR. I'm going DJ Moore there. I'm concerned about Connor this week. If you feel confident that you have like the superior team and you're just looking for a floor, you could go Connor. He's gonna have this like guaranteed amount of workload, but I don't like the upside very much for him. DJ Moore, it's not like his floor is a whole lot worse. He is going to be going up. It's going to be a tough. There's a chance DJ Moore could disappoint, so that's where I say like, I guess I would go Connor if I was absolutely looking for a floor, but 90% of the time, I'm going to go DJ Moore here this week. I really need to be in a situation where I feel like all I'm looking for is for my guy not to have less than 7 points. Then I go Connor. Because he's going to get 4 or 5 points just from receiving. Or catches, probably. DJ Moore going up against Jair will be shut down. Yeah, there's a chance. It's not a good matchup for Connor. Washington's defense is good against the run. Well, they were last year. That's all we got to work with. No, Marquise Brown's another player, but their quarterback is Joshua Dobbs. I don't know why you'd have confidence in that. Even against Washington. That's why everybody's picking Washington's defense this week. Not that I'm as high on them as everybody. So there you go, Ryan. And I would go DJ Moore. My one and only mod. And and friend Anthony Halverson would go Connor. Either one's has some bust potential. I think Connor has the higher floor, but I want to win my game. Going DJ Moore, unless I feel really confident with my team. Mike Williams from Alex Ducharme. Mike Williams or Jacoby Myers as a flex spot. 10-team PPR. This is easy for me. It's Mike Williams by a mile. That should be, I think that's the highest scoring game via Vegas Fantasy Lines for the rest of the week. And I think the teams will need to be explosive to keep up with one another. So I go Mike Williams. Yeah, not too much else to say. I mean, Jacoby Myers is fine to have on a roster, but I don't really want to play him unless some of the guys that I drafted higher than him, like Mike Williams, are injured or on bye weeks. Or until we see that Jacoby Myers is absolutely like peppered with targets or something like that. In addition to that, Mike Williams is supposed to be utilized in the flex in this new offense this year. So in terms of being a full PPR league, that helps with the floor for Mike Williams. If that does indeed happen. So Mike Williams. Let's check up for any updates here. Stefan, why didn't Richardson... Why didn't... Well, I don't know why you said why didn't. Richardson at 1.08. A-Chain 203. Hyatt was that high, okay. Mims at 205. Roshan. Wow, the tight ends do go that late. And Rodriguez. Oh, I think you were saying I didn't. Like, I didn't miss anybody. I just miscounted then. Who I think I missed was Roshan. I'm a little surprised that tight ends wouldn't pop off a little bit higher just because if they hit... I mean, I guess it is an investment because it is like usually going to be a 3 to 4 year thing before they hit. But if they hit and you get a Mark Andrews, we won't say a Travis Kelce, that's, a generational thing. But you get a Mark Andrews, it just brings so much value to your team. It wasn't Laporta would have been, wasn't he the second tight end off of the board? And Musgrave third or fourth? Yeah, a little surprised. In case anybody has concerns on Darren Waller for about the 6th time since yesterday, Darren Waller, hamstring, will play week 1. And once again, my opinion on it was he just felt a little bit of tightness on it in practice on Thursday. Woke up Friday morning and all was good. Does Adam Schefter have a sleeper? Okay. Chiefs, still no news. 6 minutes before NFL Week 1 kickoff and the fantasy chaos begins. Let's go. That's, there's no other phrase for it when you're leading up off the kickoff here. It's just, let's go. I'm going to be preheating my oven, put some pizza in there right after this gets done. I've got some leftover tacos that I can have later. I mean, and on top of that, the pizza. It was 2 for $12. DiGiorno Rising Crust. Not that DiGiorno is something amazing, but it's a deal. It's a deal compared to the regular pricing. Stefan Kincaid went 105. Oh, Michael Mayer, which he's not like a fantasy production upside guy. He's a really good tight end. but he's going to be used in the blocking game and everything. Like, I guess his upside would be George Kittle kind of upside. So it could still work out. But it's so hard to be as good as Kittle has been, given how much he blocks. Like, you have to be so productive, and I think that comes down to the system. Being in with San Francisco. So, I like the Laporta Musgrave fantasy upside a little bit more than, and you got, I think that's value there for draft wise, capital spent. You got a deal, in my opinion. DiGiorno is a pizza, but okay. Took Richardson over Zay Flowers and QJ. Okay, you took. I don't know why you said DiGiorno, but all right. Stefan, the starts of your sentences are always something random. Took Richardson over Zay Flowers and Quentin Johnston. I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, they were. They were upset because they wanted Richardson. The upside for Richardson is just so freaking high. Robert Griffin III, in his first game back since he was a player, I think there's a reason that a lot of alumni stayed away, and we don't have to talk about that anymore. But now it's a fresh start. So is he with Washington again? Is that what he's talking about? Read my lips. F. Dan Schneider's the top comment. So yeah, obviously he is active today with Washington. So there's a storyline to watch out for. Sam Howell gets injured. Robert Griffin comes in. Revives that career. My bad, I meant to erase it. Were you about to say DiGiorno sucks, or what were you about to say, or do you love it? We've got 3 minutes, y'all, before the technical kickoff of football. I'm going to start keeping my eyes on the TV to see if they don't do that question thing they did last season, because I really enjoyed that. It made for some great content, me just stealing their questions and answering them. And it looks like they might be doing that. Who won? Was this Mike Clay? No. What's his face won? They're lined up like they're doing the question thing. Oh, I don't have my shoot, and it's such a pain to set it up. I don't have closed captioning on. Setup. Didn't work. I think I need to do it right on the... Can't do it this week. That's just going to have to be a... Oh, wait. Week 1. Red zone. More passing... Bijan Robinson or Chris Olave more passing yards? Is that the question? Chris Olave. No. More passing yards. Brock Purdy or Kenny Pickett. Okay, here we go. My bad. I meant to... oh, thanks, guys. Brock Purdy or Kenny Pickett more passing... That is a tough one. I go Kenny Pickett by a little ways. Chris Olave, 75 plus receiving yards. Yeah, I would bet on it. I'd take it. All right, we're updating to make sure no last second news comes through here. More passing yards. Jimmy Garoppolo or Russell Wilson? I'll give my faith to Russell Wilson on this one. Doesn't appear to be any last second news clips coming out. More rushing yards. Cam Akers or Kenneth Walker the third. Good luck, guys, from CC. That's right. Good luck, everybody. I don't remember that last question. Tyreek Hill goes over 100 receiving yards. Let's bet on it. Let's take it. Everybody, thank you for showing up, coming out. Appreciate it. You make my job worth it, literally. Jalen Hurts, 3+ total touchdowns. Just total touchdowns? Yeah, let's take that. More rushing yards and receiving yards. Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley. I'm going with my pre-season. I'm going Saquon Barkley there. More receiving yards. Stephon Diggs or Garrett Wilson. I'll go with the matchup. I'll go Garrett Wilson more receiving yards this week. A little bit easier for him. Stephon Diggs going to be going up against the Sauce. I don't know. I don't know if I trust it. All right, we'll do one more refresh before we end the stream. Once again, good luck, everybody, in your fantasy matchups. You're freaking awesome. I love you all. And let's go. Week 1. Got to find the end stream button. But as soon as I find it, we're ending the stream. Thanks again for showing up. Peace out. Bye-bye. End it.